Hey everyone, have a here been a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the 200% teams for the new Dokkan Festival exclusive LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. So with the announcement of this unit here, I got to thinking, you know what, is now movie bosses, is uncontrollable power, is this team the #1 team in Dokkan? So figured I go ahead and dive in and take a look. Now, the key thing here is we're just going to be looking at the leader skill. We're going to look at the kit a little bit, just the domain and how to activate that, but not a full breakdown here. So I will do the full breakdown and fun little team builds when the data download comes out. But as of right now, we're just looking at the 200% leader skill, which is, not surprisingly, right, it's going to be uncontrollable power, revenge, planetary destruction at 170. What I really like about it, it's a triple, being that the 30% boost to make it 200% is movie bosses, transformation boost, and pure Saiyans. So I really like that they did a triple. I was hoping that they would do that for LRGGT, but this seemingly could be the new leader skill that we're going to see most 200% Dokkan Festival exclusive leaders have, is the triple category with the triple boost on there. It just makes teams a lot more viable and creative, to be honest, right? So let's then take a look at then who is on the list of the 200%. Here are the LRs. The usual suspects are we seeing here, what we expected to be in this category, in these 3 categories, right? In the 6 categories in total. One that just jumps out when you're looking at this going, wait, why is LROP on here? So it's a random that, you know, Orange Piccolo is here. Technically, you're not going to be able to use them very often, or really at all, because you need another unit that provides you a bond of master and disciple, which I don't think a 200% any other 200% unit provides. Maybe 170. We are not going over 170 options at this point in time. Is just straight up 200% as of right now. So when you're looking at building a team, right, you want to make sure that are there going to be 5 other units along with the leader that you can build a strong team with, and very easily you can take a look at this and go, yeah, there's plenty. You have the Carnival LR Broly, you have Cell Max, you have the Anniversary Full Power Broly, you have the EZA to Turles, and then you have the EZA to the Super Saiyan that transforms into Legendary Super Saiyan, EZA Tech Broly there as well. So those are all solid units. Of course, you have then, you know, EZA LR Buhan, and then future EZAs could really make this team incredibly strong, stronger than it is right now, because once you see the team builds, it's already very impressive. Is it #1? Again, we'll make that decision, I would say down the road, but we'll take a look at what it looks like now. So Cooler, Metal Cooler, when they EZA, this is just going to stack up this team a little bit more. Janemba, when he EZAs, it's going to be very beneficial there. And really, even, you know, Golden Frieza right now is still usable at this moment in time. There's that, you know, out of the box EZA to LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly here, which really wouldn't work very well on this team, being that the new Dokkan Festival exclusive Legendary Super Saiyan Broly is generally going to be run on 2nd position, so you're not going to link up very well with this unit here. So I highly doubt that this is actually going to EZA. But all in all, I think the LR options are very good with room for growth. All right, and that's really what we're looking for. Now we're talking about TURs. You can see that there's a lot of options, right? There is quite a bit of options on here. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention over here, don't forget, possible in part 3 we get a Bio Broly, and Bio Broly is most likely going to be on this as well as a uncontrollable power transformation boost, so keep that in mind. And again, back to the TURs here. So the thing about the TURs you're going to notice is with LR Buhan on here, you're going to see the other boos as well, and those are going to be the other viable kind of team that you can create. And again, we'll show that to you a little bit later. And then on top of all this, you have certain units again that will soon to EZA, like this Kid Buu here. Possible, you know, some of these will EZA down the road. These are still newer Dokkan Festival exclusives. But ultimately, again, a lot of options for additional growth that could happen very soon, right? Could happen very soon. So, for example, like this Super Easy A here, you can use Easy A Kid Buu already. So again, a lot of units, but sprinkled around all those units here are usable units in this current meta. But when you look at some of these options, there are a lot that is unusable. Of course, you know, this Janemba, Easy Yang, some of these other ones, it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens when future Easy A's to these TURs end up dropping. So those are your full options. This is basically your full options for your 200%, if you can see it on screen or not. I know this right here is kind of small. Hey, again, BROLY. So let's go ahead and look at the team that this actually creates. And I did mention that you most likely want to put the BROLY in second position. You technically probably put him in first position as well and do fine. But this is a team that would make the most sense. And of course, you're going to be using RSL Max here. And then the Dokkan Festival exclusive Int Legendary Super Saiyan is going to be running in second position. And ultimately, you look at this is all movie bosses, right? This is a full movie bosses team. And you have the Turles here that doesn't get his full 50% damage mitigation boost, because technically you only have 4 planetary destruction units that you end up actually having on this team, which will give them 40% damage reduction, which is fine. The amount of damage that Turles does, it's incredible. But then you add all these other units that is going to do just crazy amount of damage output, right? You have the tech LR BROLY there. That guy is just a menace, right? The damage output is just outstanding. Then you have the Carnival BROLY when he transforms. And then you have full power BROLY when he transforms. It's just, I don't think really any enemy. This will be the team that you can clear the fastest, especially after certain transformations, right? So I don't think any other team could clear as fast as this team here, because again, the damage output, I would say, is at the top, right? You know, we have some amazing defensive units in terms of other teams, but this one, the damage output with some level of defense, you could argue, right? You can argue as a top team in the game. Now, the reason why I probably wouldn't put it in the top team is because the lack of, bench strength and flexibility. But let's take a look at how you would actually play this team, which would make this even stronger depending on, again, how you play it. It's definitely not an auto mode team, though, so I think maybe the superheroes team maybe has a little bit of advantage in terms of that. But generally speaking, what you're going to want to do is you're going to activate the Dokkan Festival exclusive LR Legendary Super Saiyan BROLY first. You're able to actually activate this when all your characters here are uncontrollable powers attacking in the same turn. The only person that's not an uncontrollable power unit on here is going to be Team Turles. So if you want to put like Harudegarn on there, I wouldn't do it. I would just have to wait one turn, or wait until whatever the turn is where you have all of the attacking allies as uncontrollable power, which again is going to be most of the time unless Turles is on rotation. So maybe you wait one turn, that's fine. This thing is going to last for 3 turns, so it's not very long. You just want to enact it as soon as possible here. This will give you uncontrollable power enemies and allies, attack and defense 15%, increased damage received by superclass enemies by 15, and then an additional 10% to movie, additional 10% damage inflicted to characters who belong in the movie heroes category. So at least that's going to give you a nice little boost there. And it's a short period of time. You want to activate that as soon as possible. It is going to be beneficial for you to do that, because after you do that, you have some options, right? The first option is if you basically wait until the 5th turn here, you then can create the domain for full power movie BROLY, right? So that unit then you're able to run this for 4 turns, and this is, in my opinion, a really strong boost as well. right? You can get extreme class enemies and allies 10% to attack defense, plus an additional 10% for exploding rage and movie bosses, which everyone here is on movie bosses, so it's going to be even stronger, 20% there, and then increased damage by superclass enemies and allies by 10%. So a stronger boost overall, not by that much, only 5%, but 5% is still 5%. Now, if you do wait a little bit longer about triggering this here, and you actually run up against the 6th turn, then you can even just go ahead and put Cell Max here and do his crazy taunt, right? What's his crazy taunt active skill here? Well, you get defense 999, causes ultimate damage to enemy masses, raises attack here. But remember, because Cell Max is running on this team here, that's not artificial life forms or super bosses category allies. You only have one super boss to activate his entrance animation. Everyone else is not artificial life forms or super bosses, so that won't work in the 4th turn. You do have to wait until the 6th turn because everybody else is extreme class. So just be aware of that. Cell Max is very restrictive when you're running him on a team, and you kind of have to build around him when you are using Cell Max. So just kind of keep that in mind. So that's kind of the progression you want to take in terms of using the actives in there. For the Carnival Tech Broly, you're just gonna transform after the 1st turn because he's useless in a sense after that, loses all of the extra boost after the 1st turn. So it should have just had made it automatically transform versus active skill transformation. So because you wouldn't want to stay in base form after the 2nd turn. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to then the biggest question is, if you remove Cell Max, what happens here? Well, it does open up options that you can actually run on the team and provide you a little bit more flexibility, right? So removing Cell Max, probably not a good idea, right? Because Cell Max is such a strong unit on here. But if, let's say, you didn't pull Cell Max, and some global players out there does not have Cell Max, so definitely understand that. If you don't have Cell Max here, you can still build an incredibly strong team. So some of your options, of course, on the support here, you can finally use this guy. This guy is a Broly booster, right? So he'll just boost up Broly for everyone. However, he is kind of squishy. You can dodge in certain situations, but it's a free-to-play unit, so I wouldn't trust that unit as much as maybe some other units that you can run. But at least now you can run it on this team. You couldn't run it on a full movie bosses team prior to that. Now, one option that you can actually do is, because this team does so much damage, and most likely your HP is not going to fall under 40%, you can go ahead and run this guy right here. This guy right here in terms of the EZA Golden Frieza, which is a 90% damage mitigation, so he's not going to take much damage at all. But if you fall under that 40%, he's basically a sitting duck. He will basically kill you. A normal attack will kill that unit there. So just be wary of that. Another unit that you can run, of course, is this Boo here that will then revive and then now activate the Legendary Super Saiyan Dokkan Festival exclusive units additional benefit there as well. So that's an option that you can run here, and you can just also run the other LR Golden Frieza. So that is another option there as well. So, but ultimately, again, Cell Max is probably your best bet, but you do have options. Now, we don't have enough first position options. Could you just run the Dokkan Festival exclusive LR Broly in the first rotation? Sure. He might run up against some situations where he might take quite a bit of damage, so you do just have to watch out for that, and you might run something like this. Again, Golden Frieza is not going to do any damage, but he will just tank that with that 90% damage mitigation. So another option here is then run Planetary Destruction. This is a full Planetary Destruction team, so Turles will get all the additional benefits, but technically speaking, if you ran this team here, you're going to get all the benefits as well. And you have the AGL Broly on here. So this one, you're running Kid Buu, which is nowhere near as good as AGL Broly. So I would say, this is the team that you want to run to max out Team Turles here as well with a 50% damage mitigation. So again, this is without Cell Max on there, so you kind of figure out, okay, what do I want to run here? Now, the final one is very strange, but it will work, and that is running a rotation where Tech Boo is on there, Transformation Boo is on there. So he gets a 70% damage mitigation when there is another Majin Buu individual attacking the same turn. So you have to run a floating position here of all Boos. Now, the other option then, of course, is to run in main rotation. Then you're going to run one of the Brolys in is a floater, and I don't really recommend you do that. So this is an option that you can run. And with the 70% damage mitigation, he should be fine on there. And again, the other option is just to run the Broly in first position here, because he has 60% damage mitigation and opportunity to guard and a bunch of other stuff as well. So this is an option. Again, not ideal, but I would say works in certain situations. So so yes, you can do something like that, but still I kind of go back here to this team. This team is looking like the best here, and of course that is absolutely similar, or not, if not the same, as the movie Boss's team with Carnival Broly. Now the question is, what's better, right? Running 2 Carnival Brolys or running 2 Dokkan Festival exclusive LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly? And it seems like I think this team is a little bit stronger defensively, given the fact when you fully transform, your team's going to look like this right here, right? Versus when you fully transform over here, where was that slide here? Here, right? Let me actually take this down here, right? So with this, you have 2 Legendary Super Saiyan Brolys in second position, and then you have Cell Max, or you have Broly running in first position there. It's a little less consistent, right? Because of course after 3 turns, Cell Max is a little bit susceptible, and then Broly as well after the domain runs out, right? So whereas I would say when you're over here, oops, not this team, when you're over here, that LR Tech Broly is just going to be a constant there, and then you can float in second position full power Broly or Cell Max, or you can even run the Tech LR Super Saiyan Broly, which I don't have like the change here for this unit here. I need to get that asset there where you can, when you're transformed into Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, you didn't put them in that same position there. So this is a wild team, right? This is a very strong and wild team, but I think it works out, right? I think it works out. The question is this the best team in the game? Man, after transformation of all the units, it's going to be hard to, it's definitely the hardest hitting, right? The most damage output, either this team or this team here, right? With the new Dokkan Festival exclusive right here, it's going to be the most damaging. However, is it the best defensive or overall? That's going to be based off of all the testing here. So it'll be very interesting if this can take over best teams on top. The bench and flexibility is a little bit of their weak point here, especially when you have to run Cell Max. Or you want to run Cell Max on this team. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I can't believe I've been talking for over 18 minutes. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.